who are veterans and not a member of American Legion Post 10, we would offer you an opportunity to come in here and to see one of our officers and become a member. We have a lot of activities here and increasingly being built onto. Tonight we have Ms. Elizabeth Goolsby, who is the Medical Center Director of Federal VA Medical Center in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I believe Ms. Goolsby's agenda is to talk about the new VA facility that is going to be located here in Wilmington out by our airport. So without further ado, I would like to read the biography of Ms. Goolsby to let you know just exactly what her impressive background is. Elizabeth B. Goolsby was appointed Director of the VA Center in Fayetteville, North Carolina, effective July 4, 2010. Prior to this appointment, Ms. Goolsby was the Associate Director of the VA Medical Center in Indianapolis, Indiana. Ms. Goolsby received a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing from Niagara University, Niagara Falls, New York, in 1969, and a Master of Science degree in nursing from the University of North Carolina School of Nursing in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. After serving as a nurse in the United States Army, she joined the VA in 1975 as a nurse coordinator at the VA Medical Center in Durham, North Carolina. From 1981 to 2008, she served in Durham as the GRASP coordinator, nursing instructor, administrative assistant to the medical center director, process and systems improvement team leader, interim associate medical center director, and assistant medical center director. While in Durham, Ms. Goolsby served as consulting associate professor at the Duke University School of Nursing, a faculty associate at the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill School of Public Health, and as a clinical instructor at the UNC CH School of Nursing. Ms. Goolsby also continued her military service as a nurse in the United States Army Reserve until her retirement in 1999 at the rank of colonel. So at this time, I would like to welcome Ms. Goolsby, if everybody would give her a round of applause.
Thank you for allowing me to be with you tonight. And I want to tell you some exciting news about your medical specialty outpatient clinic here in Wilmington. Just this afternoon, I drove by, and it is really shaping up nicely. The girders are up. We could see some of the wiring was in, even some of the infrastructure for heating and air conditioning were in, and it's really exciting. You know, when you think about a space that's 85,000 square feet, for me, it's a little hard to figure out exactly how big is that. But to put it in terms of something we're familiar with, it's going to be as large as one of the super Walmarts. That's how big it's going to be. It is huge, absolutely huge. And it's so appropriate for the veterans in this area. You have served proudly. You have used the VA services in Brunswick and also in Wilmington for primary care, for mental health services, but you needed to have more. And this super clinic will provide you with an opportunity for more services that are closer to home, and you won't have to travel as far to Fayetteville in order to receive those services. Tonight, what I'd like to do is recap for you a little bit about the clinic. And as you can see on the podium, we now have two pictures for you to take a look at. One is the artist's rendition of what the clinic is going to look like, and then the other is a floor plan. And I do apologize that the floor plan is kind of small, but when you have a chance, come on up and take a look, and you can actually see where things are going to be positioned by one another. You know, in this area, there are about 67,000 veterans that live in the Wilmington, New Hanover, Brunswick County area. Our clinic serves about 8,300 of those, and we know that because this is such a desirable area to live in, that you're going to have many more veterans that will be coming here. and that you're going to have many more veterans who already live here who want to avail themselves of the services. The clinic itself is a $25 million design and construction, which brings a lot of revenue into this area. There will be about $6 billion worth of equipment, and then the annual operating budget will be another $5 million. So it infuses into the Wilmington area considerable capital. The clinic itself will probably be finished with its construction maybe December of this year, maybe January of next year. And then it's going to take about 2 months for us to be able to outfit it. So we expect we're going to be able to see patients in our new clinic probably March, April timeframe. And that's provided that we don't run into any issues with construction or anything of that nature, which we certainly don't anticipate, but you never know that those things may occur. So that's the time frame we're looking at. As far as what kind of services are going to be provided, at the Wilmington Clinic now, we have primary care, we have mental health, and what we're going to be adding to the new clinic will be day surgery, so that outpatient surgery can be done in the areas of GI, gastroenterology. There will be some with orthopedics, general surgery, urology, and services similar to that. But it'll be day surgery, outpatient surgery. Then we're going to be adding specialties as the needs present themselves in areas such as cardiology, dermatology, pulmonary, and neurology, to name a few. We will have on site a complete radiology suite so that you won't have to go to other sites in order to have radiological exams. So there will be things such as ultrasound, CT, bone density, MRIs, and the usual kinds of radiological services that you would expect. There will also be a laboratory so that many of the laboratory examinations can be done on site. So how are we going to orchestrate having this clinic available for you? What our plan is to utilize the clinic in phases. We want to make sure we do this right for you. We want to make sure that it's organized. We want to make sure that the care that's provided is timely. So in order to do that, the first phase will be to move all of the folks that are currently in the Wilmington CBOC over to the new clinic. So we'll be able to continue the primary care services and the mental health services. Then we will, at that same time, start to utilize pharmaceutical services. Now, the pharmacy that's going to be located there will be a day pharmacy. That is, first scripts will be filled, and then the rest will be filled through the CMOP as you have it now. It will not be a traditional pharmacy in that it would have other kinds of goods in it. That's not what our vision is. It's strictly a pharmacy for those medications that would be necessary that particular day. We will also be opening on day one a women's clinic, so that the women's clinic will be part of primary care. We'll have a separate entrance, and we'll have at least 2 teams for our women. Our growth will dictate just how many primary care teams we have going forward, but our anticipation is that each of the primary care teams will care for about 1,200 of our veterans. Each team will have a provider, whether that's a nurse practitioner, a PA, or a physician. We'll have a registered nurse, we'll have a licensed practical nurse, and we'll have a medical support assistant on the team. This is the PAC system that you've become to know at Wilmington, with the intent being that you know your providers know you, and that we have that continuity of care that's so important for all of our veterans. That's what our intent is with the new outpatient clinic, is to continue that concept. We will add the specialty clinics that I mentioned as we see the demand for it, but we want to do it right. We want to make sure that we add them as we're ready to provide those services. Some of you are probably wondering, okay, now who's going to provide these specialty services? Our plan in staffing the clinic, whether it's primary care, mental health, specialty services, pharmacy, any of the services we're going to provide, the first staffing will be from our current staff that are here in Wilmington. or that are at the medical center or the C-Box that are associated with Fayetteville. That's the first group. The second is that we will open it up to other VA employees from across the nation. And we suspect that with Wilmington being such a desirable location, that we're going to get a lot of folks that want to come here. Third will be to offer positions to staff, fee-based, or consultants, depending upon what the specialty is. And the reason I hedge a little bit on that is we want to see what the demands are going to be. And the demands will help us to determine whether we want full-time staff, whether we want to have a fee service, or whether we want to have consultants. We would prefer to have full-time our staff, but we're going to be driven by what the demands are for the area. We anticipate that we will start to do hiring for those positions probably in the September timeframe, but that will also be governed by how we're moving ahead with the construction. The rooms, as you can look on the schematic, you'll see that we have organized the clinic into pods so that there will be natural occurring relationships within sections of the clinic itself. So all of the primary care and all of the mental health that work together are located in one area. Women's health is located in a separate area. Pharmacy in a separate area. All of the laboratory in yet another area. So what we're trying to do is make it easier for our veterans to be able to get from place to place and to be able to have all those services taken care of in what we think is going to be a logical manner for you. We're also going to have a canteen that will be there, so we'll be able to provide services for you while you're there at the clinic. Initially, the clinic will be a Monday through Friday, probably 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., but we are already looking at extended hours and also weekend clinics. We're still working on that, so I can't tell you just yet what that's going to look like, but our intent is to be able to provide access outside of traditional hours. Because many of our veterans are telling us that they want care outside of those traditional hours. Some of the specialties that we will have in the clinic that maybe are not traditional to some medical clinic practices are the dental clinic. We will have a full dental clinic with 3 dental teams that will be at the clinic. And that's a little bit unusual in that many of the outpatient clinics do not have dentistry as a component. We think that's important, and our intent is to have at least 3 teams that will be here in the Wilmington Clinic. We will also have a physical therapy, occupational therapy gym. We know that sometimes you have sprains, sometimes you're recovering from surgery, and you just need a little bit of help from physical therapy or occupational therapy to help you get over that little bit of an episode to get ready to resume your life's activities. We think having a gym for these purposes at the clinic will benefit you, and that it will provide that seamless continuity of care that I know that you're looking for and have enjoyed with the Wilmington Clinic. There will be audiology, there will also be podiatry that will be available, and these are somewhat non-traditional kinds of services that we're going to be providing at the clinic. So this is where we are with your clinic. We are absolutely excited about the clinic. We hope that you share that excitement, and please know that we are looking for your continual input, your continual support as we move forward. And also, when the ribbon cutting ceremony is ready to happen, you know all of you will be invited to come see your clinic and to see this beautiful new space for our veterans, because they certainly have earned it, and we're absolutely delighted to be able to provide it. Now, I've spoken for a little bit. If you have questions, I'd be glad to try and address them.